All right, we are back once again backstage at the Brand Innovators Marketing Leadership Summit. We're kicking off day 2 with Michelle Wong, CMO of Sprinkles, and we're going to talk about some fun topics, some conversations and trends that CMOs are seeing in the industry, and then we'll go into our lightning round.
Perfect.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. This
of course.
Is awesome.
I mean, 10 a.m. In Vegas may as well be 3 o'clock in the morning. So I know
Feels like that.
it does, but we're thrilled. We're thrilled to have you here. So I'm just going to dive right into, I think, one of the biggest questions and conversations we have with chief marketing officers in this industry is CMO tenure. The Wall Street Journal recently reported that the average CMO tenure is at max, at the higher level is 40 months, which is the lowest level that it's been in about a decade. And it's something you see, it could be as low as 2 years, 18 months, even sometimes. And it's a question that comes up a lot is what is happening in the CMO role where a marketer might come in and by the time they find their agency, bring in the right people and, boom, that time is up. And then the process starts all over again. So what's going on?
I think that there's a lot of pressure put on CMOs, and that pressure is driven by performance marketing and wanting to see results really quickly. And I think a lot of CMOs like myself really care about brand. And brand-driven work doesn't generate results overnight. It is something that you have to feed and foster and build and nurture and really take great care of. I think Sprinkles is such a wonderful brand, and to be able to have the privilege to see where this brand grows still takes time and it takes dedication. And so I think when leadership or shareholders, if you're not seeing sort of that change in the business very quickly, it can be hard for CMOs. And I think that's sort of what truncates the CMO's tenure. For me personally, I find it hard to I would find it hard to not be in a position for at least 2 years to truly understand the inner workings of the business and the brand, and to take it to the next level. You have to really live and breathe it. And so it's such a short amount of time. I think we have to allow for both things. Yes, we have to show results. Yes, we have to grow sales. We have to build the business. But at the same time, that upper funnel work has to be there. It's so important to nurture the brand. And I think for an organization to really understand that and support their CMOs and understanding that those two things have to work in concert, that takes longer than 18 months, than 2 years.
Oh, I love that. I appreciate that. And one of the things we talked about with some of our other interview subjects is that concept of managing up. As a CMO, how do you convey, the impact and power of what you're doing to the CEO, to the board, where sometimes they don't speak the same language that we speak, right? And that's a whole other conversation. But, you talked about brand building. I'm curious, what role does cultural relevance, well, first of all, what does cultural relevance mean to you? Because it seems to mean different things to different people. And what does that mean for you? What does it mean for Sprinkles? How does Sprinkles manifest itself within culture?
Cultural relevance is huge for Sprinkles. I think it is a brand that was born out of that. It was sort of put on this celebrity pedestal. At the same time, it was the product that you brought to parties, that you had for your kid's birthday. And I think what's really unique and special about Sprinkles, again, such a joy to be a part of a brand like this, is our product is rooted in celebration. So it's either something that you're giving to someone because it's an anniversary or a birthday, or just because, or you're doing it for yourself. And it's this treat myself sort of moment. But cultural relevance has to be a part of that because it's all sort of interconnected. And I think for me, the definition is sort of how are you as a brand part of everyday life for a consumer. But I think with Sprinkles, it's being woven into life, but it's still very aspirational. We've done a lot of really interesting and in my opinion, culturally relevant work with our audiences and what we celebrate. And again, everything is about that joy in that moment. So Sprinkles is really involved in highlighting certain cultural moments that aren't necessarily would be considered mainstream. So I think as in marketing, a lot of times the notion is to appeal to as many people as possible in order to get as many eyeballs and more people to buy. And I think the broader you go, the sort of more washed out things get, and you lose your point of view. And so What we've seen is that actually by tightening in on a certain moment, on a certain occasion, actually lends itself to everyone feeling like they can be included and be seen as part of that. So the brand's really involved in Pride Month. We do so much work with the LGBTQ plus community. It's not lip service. It's not a check. It's truly integrating ourselves with our nonprofit partners. It's developing products in concert with the celebration and bringing those resources in-house. And it's just not all consumer facing. It's actually an experience that we bring in to the Sprinkles organization as well. So I think having that 360 perspective creates relevance because you're living it. And when you're putting it out into the world, it's truly authentic. So we have a lot of exciting things. I'll say one more piece. This year, actually, we're producing our first Lunar New Year cupcake. And it's something I'm really proud of. It's a personal sort of passion of mine to continue to celebrate different cultures and moments. And again, this could be seen as something very niche, but it's not. And I think really it's about new year and new life and wanting the best for the people that you love and who are around you. And to be able to tell that story through food, to be able to tell that story at Sprinkles on this national stage with a product that was developed with all of those things in mind, to work with partners of AAPI backgrounds, and to, again, bring that authenticity, I think is going to really show how being a part of some what would be considered specific cultural moments can have a really broad-reaching effect on a national audience.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you for sharing. I'm excited to see how that continues to make itself, right? Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, so I got one more kind of big question for you. And we talked about, right, from a high level, some of the roles of the CMO, but arguably one of the most important roles that you have is building the team, is the talent. And it's something, again, I talk about with our community a lot. And just the challenges and what goes into finding the right people for the marketing organization, especially today when there's so many new specialties, new skill sets, new technologies, new tools, new platforms that you have to account for in these subject matter experts and in the team that you build. So do you have a philosophy or strategy that you employ to kind of make sure that you're bringing in the right people to build out that organization?
Yeah, I think there's absolutely something to be said for people who are trained in a certain area or are experts in their field within the marketing space. But I've always been a huge proponent for bringing in people with different backgrounds, life experiences, and professional experiences. The job that we do can easily be taught, but there are a lot of innate things that you cannot draw out of people if it's not there. Curiosity, passion, endurance, these are all traits that I look for people to join my team. Do you want to make things better? Are you constantly pushing and trying new things? I love being around creatives that want to make things constantly. I love working with people that are sending me DMs of like, did you see this? This is so cool. And like, I want to be surrounded by people that are passionate and driven. And certainly we have subject matter experts on the team and people who are trained in being art directors and designers and copywriters. Absolutely. You need that foundation. But truly, in the end, I want to build a team where I feel like I know you as a whole person and what contributes to that. Your personal life contributes to your professional life and vice versa. And if I see that energy, I feel that energy, that's what I'm really drawn to. And again, those different perspectives. I have a creative background. Marketing is you have to be creative to be a marketer. And if you're not bringing in that sort of diverse set of perspectives and life experiences, I don't think that you can get to interesting work.
Absolutely, and you can't teach passion. You can't teach curiosity, right? Those are innate traits. I absolutely understand. So, all right, we're going to hit our lightning round now.
Okay.
So first of all, thank you for that. So just We're going to go through 4 quick questions. Like I said, a challenge that you're thinking about either for yourself or for the industry, right? A trend that's top of mind for you. There's lots of them. And then your 2 cents on some of the 2 big buzzwords of the day in terms of the metaverse and kind of Web3 in general, and then AI and that world.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
All right. I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right, so let's start with a trend. It's the beginning of the year, January 2023. There's lots of trends being talked about, some more substantive than others, different conversations happening all over the industry. Are there any specific trends that you're thinking about as you plan for your year?
Trends for me really are rooted in how we're talking to our guest and our consumer. There's so many options. It changes every day. It grows every day. And I'm actually, I'm already messing up your lightning round. I'm combining my trend and my challenge. And really for us, it's been really centered around TikTok. It is an incredible platform. Our fans and our guests and our users are there. And I think as a brand, how to truly be authentic there and connect and actually turn that into an engaging experience, and growing the brand and growing relevance and also tying it to purchase, and all of those things have been a really big challenge for us. But it's hard to also call it a trend because it's been around. But I feel like the marketers that I've spoken to, everyone's still trying to crack that code. So it still feels very fresh within the marketing community, it feels like.
Absolutely. I think, like I said, after talent, TikTok was like the number one, topic that comes up. Especially if you're in a regulated industry and you're for financial services, or what does that role look like, for the brand on TikTok? How do you drive it back to purchase behavior, right? There was that whole big article, TikTok made me buy it, but how do you actually track and measure that? Right. So definitely a lot of opportunity, but still a lot of questions to be answered there for sure. So I love that. It's your trend and your challenge. All right, cool. So we'll keep going. Another big topic right now, again, we're at CES, so there's certainly even more conversation here around it than others, but the metaverse and Web3 technologies. Seeing a moment over the past year of a lot of experimentation by different brands. Where are we as an industry in terms of that journey and applying some of those Web3 technologies or the metaverse into our world? So
you couldn't have chosen a more perfect buzzword, because I think as soon as I got to Vegas, I don't think I've had a single conversation that did not revolve around the metaverse. Like I thought we were going to be talking about it with literally every person I've met here, and every conversation has been around metaverse, and it's really intriguing. I'm really excited about it. I think about sprinkles in this space and what we can do, and I think a lot of brands are. And I think the challenge with this being so buzzy is how to be strategic about it. And what is it really doing for your consumer? What value are we truly bringing with this experience? And how are we using that to grow the business at the same time? And so it still feels new, and it feels like a new frontier, but people are dabbling, and I think we're very close. It's very exciting. And based on the conversations I've had the last couple of days, I've learned a lot more about the metaverse. So who knows where this will go. Awesome. Well, I guess that means your time here is valuable, right? Like you're making the most of it, right? Absolutely. So that's fantastic. Similarly, I'd love to get your thoughts on AI. And again, as a topic or as a buzzword, it's maybe not brand new, but in the past 3-6 months, I think, has seen a resurgence within industry conversations. The technologies have been taken to a new level with things like DALL-E for AI-generated artwork, and now ChatGPT. People are talking about Microsoft building AI into Bing for new kinds of search results. So lots of conversations around how and if and how this can be applied within our industry. Have you thought about AI, and if so, what role might that play? Yeah, it's interesting, the conversations between around the metaverse and AI is it feels like there's a lot more fear around AI. The sense is that it's a little more unwieldy, and I think just because it's really powerful. And I think as marketers, there's the ability to use AI as a tool, but at the same time, there's certain things that just can't be replaced in terms of what humanity can sort of bring. And this is just based on the idea of AI just modifying creative, right? And it's as simple as seeing tweaks in ads as you go through the process and sort of seeing your consumer's reaction to it. If you sort of start losing the connection element that I think we're so good at as marketers, everything that we do, whether it's a small digital ad to a long form video, the root has to come from a place of storytelling and of authenticity and of brand building. Like it feeds everything that we do. And the challenge now is how does AI fit into that as the overall picture? Because it's going to be a tool that we're going to use, but how do we manifest it in a way that makes sense?
Fantastic. I'm so curious how that space is going to continue to develop. And I really appreciate you being here and sharing your insights with me and with the Brand Innovators community. So thank you so much.
Thank you. This is awesome.
All right.
Appreciate
Wonderful.
it.
We'll have you back again soon, I hope.
Yes, of course.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you so
Thanks so much.